Yo guys, Hunter here, and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. Now, if you remember last time, we left off with Emi and Hisao on the roof, and Emi had just mentioned him kissing her before the bell rang. So, we're going to get into that, and if you also remember, Emi and Hisao have been getting really close lately. He went to visit her whenever she was sick, and ended up staying with her for a little bit of the night, laying with her, and we saw that nightmare happen with her, which was really sad, and, this is gonna get, things are getting really interesting. So, yeah, let's just get started. If you're going to kiss me, you should probably do it soon. I think the lunch bell is about to ring. My thoughts grind to a sudden halt. I'm pretty sure my mouth is hanging open in shock. All I can manage is strangled, huh? This amuses Emi even more. You were thinking about it, weren't you? She sits up, bringing her face level with mine. I'd probably enjoy it, You're a really... well... She briefly composes herself, looking like she's about to say something important. If you haven't figured it out by now, I think I've developed a bit of a crush on you. Woo! You're going to have to do something about that. Oh, God. This time, her grin short-circuits several important thought processes. Ew! At some point, I turned toward her. At another point, her arms moved to around my neck. At yet another, my arms wrapped around her waist. I'll be damned if I can tell precisely when that happened. Because at the moment, there's only a voice in the back of my head yelling at me to kiss her. I look into Emi's eyes. There it is. The thing I saw yesterday on the bed. It's there again. It suddenly strikes me that she's worried that I'll reject her. What a silly word for her to have. Ooh, we get to see it. Holy hell. Woo! I'm like, I don't figure, but damn. Yay! Her lips taste faintly of strawberries. Aww. She leans into the kiss, and her arms tight around the back of my head, making sure that I don't pull away. Not that there's any danger of that. There's a Sorry, guys. There's a churning feeling in my gut. The world falls away. There's just me and her at this bench. My arms tighten, drawing her waist closer, entranced by the feel of her. I inhale her scent, my mind trying desperately to memorize everything about how she tastes, how she smells, how she feels. Oh! Ouch! The ring of the bell snaps us both back to reality, and we break the kiss. Emily's cheeks are slightly flushed, and she seems to be catching her breath. At her defense, so am I. We stand there for a few moments trying to wrap our heads around what we've just done. Emi is the first to break the silence. So, wanna grab dinner after I'm done with practice? What a coincidence. I was about to ask you the same thing. Well, actually, I suppose I was going to be some kind of proper day on the weekend or something, but the thought was there, I think. Emi gives me a playful shove. Yeah, right. You're still in shock from how incredibly awesome I am at kissing. This girl's beastly. We began to head down the stairs back to our respective classrooms. Hey, I didn't see you talking immediately afterwards either. That I didn't. See you after practice, Hisao. She leans quickly and gives me a quick kiss in the middle of the hallway, sending me into another brief state of mental freefall. Oh, that's great. That is like freaking terrific. I love it. I love it. As I head into my classroom, a giggling Misha greets me. Oh no, she saw. Oh, she saw. Oh no. Why, Hichan, you romantic you. Did you confess on the rooftop? Did you? Or, actually, I think it was the other way around. This sends Misha into a in a fresh fit of laughter. Young love is so unpredictable, isn't it? This being Misha? Misha! This being Misha, I suppose I should have expected her to tease me over this. I guess. Before I can really respond, Mato's entering the room and Misha skips off to her seat, giggling all the while. I suspect that I'll get a lot of that sort of conversation now, especially seeing as how Emi kissed me right in the middle of the hall. But somehow, I don't care about that. For the first time since arriving here, my heart feels light. Focus on your work, man! Don't be daydreaming. Act 3. Perspective. Wow, we went through Act 2 pretty fast. My head's in a spin all through Matao's class. I'm going to have dinner. With Emi. Who wants to be my girlfriend, no less. A date. And then she kissed me. That kiss, I keep going back to it, playing it over in my mind again and again. Everything about that moment felt so right. My mind drifts off, lost in the thoughts of Emi. Nakai, hello? Oh no! No! I kinda saw that coming. Like, this always happens when people are like daydreaming. It's like, teachers like, hello, are you listening to me? It seems like I've drifted a bit too far. Huh? What? Egad, you've contracted some kind of amnesia. Someone get the nurse. The class chuckles at Matao's antics. Sorry, sir. Won't happen again and all that, right? Exactly. Matao brightens considerably. Well, lovely to hear. I hate to have my star pupil slacking off, after all. I've been doing well, but I hardly qualify as a star pupil, I think. I'm fairly certain that the class is the sort that everyone... I'm fairly certain that this class is the sort that everyone does well. It's just memorizing formulas. True to my word, I managed to pay attention for the rest of the class. Like, hi, may I have a word with you? I wonder if I'm in trouble for earlier. Oh, sure. Am I in trouble? Matao looks generally confused for a moment. Beg your pardon? He heads his head to one side and thinks for a moment. Oh, that! No, you're not in any sort of trouble. There's just a question I want to ask you. What's that? Nothing terrible. I was just wondering about your plans for after graduation. What your plans for after graduation are. Are you going to university? Yeah, I guess. I can't really see a reason not to go. Given any thought to what you're studying? Not really, no. I figured I'll come up with something when I get there. Matao laughs. Taking things as they come, I figured it. I'd argue against it, but that's how I did things when I went to university. Well, not really. I knew I'd go into science, I just wasn't sure which one. Ended up with physics, but could just as well gone for astronomy or what have you. Actually, I did go for chemistry first, but there was all sorts of things. Matao trails off and frowns slightly. It takes a minute for him to recover his train of thought, and I wait patiently for him to continue. So anyway, I did a lot of physics as well, because I had an interest in that, but I wasn't sure if it was for me. So I went back to chemistry, and here we are, yes? He smiles at me enthusiastically, as if waiting for me to confirm that yes. Here is where we are. Somehow I get the feeling that Matao had a plan for this conversation, but I'll be damned if I can figure it out. I'm sorry, I'm not following you. Matao frowns and rubs his chin a bit, looking perplexed. He then snaps his finger as if remembered the point of all of this. Right, yes, you. Me? Yes, you should look into studying one of my sciences. You're fantastic at it. Unless you'd rather just go into math. Matao makes a sour face. Not a big fan of straight math. I always like the experiments more than the proofs. You're saying I should study science at university? Matao seems thrown off balance by my question. Well, sort of. You could also join the science club. Trouble is, there's not actually a science club. But there could be. You could even be a charter member. A founding father. Of course, you need to find more members. Find other members. Well, only if you wanted to. We could just start it up with the two of us. And, I could give you the things to read, and we could talk about them. And I could help you get ready for university and such as well. Ooh, this is getting interesting. The towel's taking an interest in our, well-being, and, well, you know, like our, career and whatnot. Not like our physical health. That's the nurse's job, and Emi's. Especially the nurse. He's so weird. But I like him. Patel rummages around in his briefcase and tosses me a book. Read that. If it's interesting, then we can talk about it. A Brief History of Time. I don't know if I actually want to read this, but Patel seems pretty excited about it. What's it about? Time, space-time, black holes and such. And it's not that dense, just to see... And it's not that dense, just to see if that sort of thing's interesting for you. You understand? Hang around after class, and we can either discuss it, or I can show you how to make explosives in the lab. He waves a hand at my quizzical expression. Joking, sorry. Still, I've kept you here long enough for now. Think of all science as a career path, Nikai. I think you'd enjoy it. Okay, I will. Thank you for the book. I leave the classroom and look up at the clock. Quite a chunk of time to kill until Emi's out of practice. Guess I'll give this book a look. I should probably shower as well. Showering before a date's only proper, right? I head back to the dorms. I wonder where I'm supposed to meet Emi anyway. She said after practice, but she didn't say where I should find her. I guess I can just swing by the track. That's probably best anyway. If she needs a shower, I can just wait for her in a room or something. Or in the hallway, I guess. That would be better as well. I take a quick shower, remembering to take my medication once I hop out. Now, for a look at the book. Please don't tell me you fall asleep. If you fall asleep on her, oh my god. Seriously, dude, don't. I wake with a start. Shit, what time is it? Oh, you fucking... A glance at the clock reveals I've been asleep for nearly an hour. Thank goodness. Emi's practice should be finishing up soon. I throw on some casual clothes and head for the track. Damn. I figured he'd fall asleep. Somehow I get the feeling we won't be doing anything fancy for dinner. Emi doesn't strike me as a very fancy sort of person. Still, I suppose there's a lot I have yet to know about Emi. Despite our newfound closeness, I still feel like I don't know her as well as I should. Ah, well, I have lots of time for that. To fix that. To be honest, I'm looking forward to getting to know her more. I'm so caught up in my own thoughts, I hardly register that I'm already at the track. Emi is nowhere to be found. I don't see any signs of the track team. This could be embarrassing. I turn to head toward the girls' dormitory when I hear a shout. Hey, Hisao! Ooh, hello. I turn around and see Emi making a beeline for me with a gym bag slung over her shoulder. She's changed into some decidedly more casual clothing, a pair of shorts and an olive green top. Her running blades have been replaced by more realistic looking legs that probably wouldn't fool anyone. Emi doesn't seem to care about that, a fact which makes me smile. Hey, you came. I mean, I figured you would, but still. I suddenly found myself wrapped in a rather affectionate hug, and it proves to be impossible for me to keep what must be on the world's largest grin off my face. Oh, Hisao, you're so happy. I'm happy about this. Like, this is awesome. Well, of course I came. I'd be crazy not to, right? Emi ponders for a moment. You know, that's true. I mean, I'm pretty amazing after all. I shrug in response. I certainly think so. It's an offhand remark, which is why I'm surprised to see that it seems to have caught Emi by surprise. She blushes and smiles warmly at me before planting a kiss on my lips. Now it's my turn to be surprised. Emi steps back, resting her weight on her back heel, looking pleased with herself. My brain fumbles for an appropriate response. Yay, he's mind blank. It's awesome. I should compliment you more often. Emi laughs and gives me a playful shove. Jerk. I throw an arm around Emi's shoulders and pleased when she immediately leans into me as if it were the most natural thing in the world. So, where to? I'm not actually sure. Where do people go on dates around here anyway? Damn, guys. Shoo. I can't clear my throat. That's a damn good question. I've got no idea. Why don't we just head down to the RMR and grab something portable? Emi's face brightens at this idea. A picnic. I think you're on to something, Hisao. Emi snakes her arm around my waist and we begin to head for the front gate. I'm entirely unsure of what I meant to do in this situation, but at least Emi seems to be equally clueless. Despite the relaxing feeling of being with Emi, I still can't help feeling a little tense. What if I do something wrong? I hate to make an ass out of myself. The trip to the Oromar is accompanied by Emi's chatter about how practice went. I keep quiet for the most part, mostly enjoying the warmth of being around Emi. We get a few odd looks from passerby, but I don't mind. We wind up buying some bread and instant noodles, realizing too late that we cannot actually cook the latter in the park. Yeah. Oh well, I'll make it for lunch or something. That'll work. The park is located after a brief loss of direction that I blame entirely on Emi. She, of course, blames me. We find a spot beneath a tree and sit down. I lean back against the trunk. Emi sits across from me. I guess we should have brought a blanket or something to sit on, huh? Emi shrugs. I don't mind. Neither do I. Emi tosses me a package of bread and we dig in. Curry bread. Interesting. I guess I wasn't really paying attention to what I grabbed in the store. Hey, Hisao, you look like your bread's a little spicy. I shake my head, trying in vain to keep an image of manliness. Nah, it's hardly spicy at all. I see. That must be why your face has gotten so red. Yes, exactly. The lack of spice has gotten my blood up because of the disappointment. Emi laughs and swallows the last of her bread. Well, if you can't handle it, I'll be glad to take it off your hands. Hey, just because you wolfed down yours so quickly doesn't mean I'm just going to give you mine. Emi mock pout, causing me to nearly choke on my bread with laughter. Oh, come on, Hisao. Aren't you supposed to be concerned with making sure I've got enough to eat now? Ooh. We're dating, you know. Oh! Though, Emi looks troubled all of a sudden. I can't say I feel any different. What do you mean by that? What makes this a date? It's just what we would have done anyway, really. But this should feel different because before, when we had lunch, we were friends, and now we're a level above friends. You sound like Ren. Laughter escapes and Emi grins. Well, she might have put a thought into my head. We've talked about that sort of thing before. Really? About me? Not really, just stuff, really. Ren thinks that the change of our label from friend to girlfriend seems arbitrary most of the time. Like there's no difference between the two. I can think of at least one, you know. You don't tend to kiss your friends quite as much. For the second half of the day, Emi blushes slightly and giggles. I suppose you're right. Exactly. I'm always right about things like this. Emi rolls her eyes and chuckles. Guess you're pretty smart, huh? I nod in agreement. Yep. Even Mattel thinks so. Thinks so. He thinks I should go into more sometimes scientific study about graduation. God, I don't know why I can't read. Guys, like, oh shit. This is actually pretty awesome though. Like, I'm glad they're updating, and I actually I actually really understand what they're saying about, like, the transition from friend to girlfriend. Like, you know, sometimes you don't, like, really feel it, and it feels like just a natural thing. You know, like, I don't know, have you guys ever dated someone that was your friend, and it doesn't really feel any different besides maybe, like, awkwardness by chance? Like, that's the only thing I can think of. Well, and the kissing, but you know. Emi raises an eyebrow. Oh, really? Yeah, I'm thinking I might actually do just that. Really, the more I consider the idea, the more it appeals to me. I make a mental note to look into it a little more closely. So what are you thinking about doing after graduation? Still planning on running? Excuse me. Emi shrugs, seeming almost a bit hesitant. I don't know. If I'm good enough, and I can find a team, I guess. You mean you aren't sure? I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. Really? You probably should. You know, graduation isn't that far off. Emi fidgets a little nervously. Yeah, well, it's far enough, right? Besides, I've got other things to think about. The mischievous flash around Emi's eyes, and I suddenly find myself gloriously pinned against the tree. Whoa! Like making sure this is a real date, right? I mean, if we don't kiss, then it's not a date at all, right? I suppose so. Strawberries and curry, not the best combination, but I don't think I mind. Emi sits back on my legs and grins again. There, Sans would approve, right? I have the oddest mental image of Mattel, nodding seriously and making a mark on some checklist. I can't help laughing at the idea. Well, I'll admit, this is the first time I've ever witnessed a kiss being met with laughter. Should I feel offended? No. I'm sure science approves. Emi beams at me, and I find it increasingly difficult to keep my brain functioning properly. Oh, good. It's at this point that I noticed that Emi has stolen the remainder of my curry bread while I was otherwise occupied with images of teachers building clipboards. Hey! Emi tries to look innocent, but considering she's just crammed the last bit of my bread into her mouth, it does not appear to be working. Sorry, couldn't resist. Beef. A shrug from my companion is all I get in response. Use your feminine wiles on me. I wasn't that hungry anyway, but I still feel like that the point needs to be made. Emi seems confused by the phrase feminine wiles, but the understanding dawns on her features after a moment's thought. Wasn't anything of the sort. You were laughing. Feminine wiles didn't involve laughing. Don't involve laughing. I guess I can't argue with that. That doesn't change your thievery. Emi laughs at my injured tone and gives me a playful shove. Fine, you can have the instant noodles. Are you kidding? That smells terrible. If anything, you should definitely eat it as punishment. Another laugh from the girl sitting on my legs, both of which have fallen asleep by now. I twitch one leg to try waking it up, which has the unintended effort of unbalancing Emi, who falls to the side with a startled eep. Oops, sorry about that. Like, fall asleep on me. Emi remains on the ground, giggling. I stand up a little shakily, feeling nerves in my legs return to normal. My eyes wander over the scenery before fixing on the figure of Emi, who has yet to get up. Her hair is splayed around her head, her arms are spread, and laughter is bubbling up through her mouth. Everything about Emi seems condensed into this one image. Her energy, her spirit, her childish giggling. The urge to lay down in the grass with her rises swiftly from the back of my mind to the forefront of my thoughts, and indeed I am convinced that I would have nothing more than to do just that. Unfortunately, the sun is set, and it's probably time for us to get back to the dormitories. While Emi may be happy to stay out here all night, I don't think I have that ability. Besides, homework soon beckons. It wouldn't make sense to start thinking about things like university and then slack off, would it? I extend a hand to Emi to help her up. We should probably get going. Emi makes a sour face. You're right. She grabs my proffered hand, and I pull her up to her feet and into a hug. This time, I'm the one who kisses her, unable to resist having Emi against me. She seems ashamed to leave, you know? Yeah, it does. But if we don't get back to the school soon, we'll probably get in trouble. Emi pokes me in the ribs playfully. And you need to do your homework, I'm sure. Sadly, you're absolutely right. I threw my arm around her shoulders and we made the trek back to the school, accompanied by occasional bouts of laughter as our conversation jumps from subject to subject. Everything from running to school to the peculiar way that one of the cafeteria workers smells. All too soon we find ourselves outside the girls' dormitory building. Well, I guess I'll be going then. I guess so, huh? Emi grins at me again with that mischievous look. Are you going to be able to survive without me? I laugh. I'm sure I'll manage. How terrible! Are you supposed to say something that I'll be counting the seconds you're away? Nah, I don't think so. Emi pulls me down to a quick goodbye kiss and steps back, looking unexpectedly shy. Thanks for dinner. I really had fun. Honestly, I did. So did I. I think we shall have to do it again sometime. Emi laughs at my deadpan delivery and nods. See you bright and early tomorrow morning, right? You've got to run off that bread after all. Of course, despite the fact that you ate most of it. Yes, despite that. See you later, Hisao. As Emi turns to head inside, I notice something weird. Something so weird that I'm surprised I didn't notice it earlier. Emi, she's limping slightly, favoring the left leg. Hey, Emi! Is your leg okay? Emi looks confused, or at least fakes confusion. What are you talking about? Your right leg, you're limping. There's the briefest flash of concern on Emi's face. Either she didn't want me to know, or she didn't think I noticed. Or I prefer to think she just didn't realize it. Oh, that. She shrugs casually. Must have gotten knocked a little out of alignment during the picnic. No idea what could have caused that, of course. I think back for being panned under the tree. You should have told me. We could have stopped and fixed it, you know? Emi waves a hand airily. Nah, it's not that big of a deal. Don't worry about it, okay, Hisao? It's fine. Why do I get the feeling that she's convincing herself more as me? Press Emi, let it rest. Oh, I don't know what to do. Like, I think I should, like, let her mind her own business type of thing, but I also want her to be okay. Oh my god. Okay, so I'm gonna make an extra save file. Just because I can. Press Emi. Are you absolutely sure? You don't want to go ahead and adjust it before heading up to the stairs? You could get hurt if you don't, right? I said it was fine, Hisao. Seriously, don't worry about it. I've got some experience in these matters, after all. Yeah, I suppose so. Emi grins reassuringly. Honestly, Hisao, I appreciate the concern, but I really am okay. No, really, I need to get going. Your attempts to keep me around are doomed to fail. Of course. Just prolonging the goodbye, I guess. I suppose. Oops. Another grin lights up Emi's face. Good night, Hisao. Good night. As she limps inside, I find myself hoping she's okay despite her assurance that she's fine. I think I can call this a successful first date. Hell, any day that ends with Emi pinning me under a tree to kiss me can't be bad, can it? I head back to my room, mentally thank the gods that Kenji doesn't ambush me in the hallway and get started on my homework. Yay! The morning is far too early for my taste. It doesn't help that I had trouble sleeping last night. There were simply too many things to think about. My mind refused to slow down. Instead, I replayed the rooftop, the park, and everything else over and over in my mind. There's a small part of my mind that is still paranoid that this has all been some kind of joke. That I'll meet up with Emi at the track and she'll act like nothing happened yesterday. Pushing these thoughts to the back of my mind, I throw on my running clothes and open the door. You know, this actually sounds like something I would do personally. Like, I would have a lot of trouble being like, you know, are they going to act like nothing happened? Like, is this what's going to happen to me? And, yeah. Anyway. Emi's waiting for me with her usual smile. You're late. Or at least, you're not early today. Are you tired or something? I found myself ruefully rubbing the back of my head. Something like that, yeah. Lots to think about and all that. Emi giggles at my mild understatement. Yeah, I didn't sleep that well either. I was actually glad you weren't early, because I wasn't early either. I wonder if the same thing kept us awake. The image of her weeping face passes through my mind. What kept you up? Emi's expression falters, but she quickly notices my curiosity and forces a smile. Nothing important. She's obviously not telling me something. The question is, should I press the issue? Something's clearly been bothering her for a while. I want to help her, but would it just come off as me being nosy? She got to know I care about her, though. Are you sure? If something's bothering you, I'm here to help you sort it out. Emi laughs then, but it's not her usual laugh. There's an edge to it that seems almost bitter. Sort it out? I'm not sure it can be sorted out, Hisao. An almost grim smile crosses her lips. It's like a smile of resignation. I don't think you can help me anyway. That hurts. I don't want to say that it hurts to her, but it does. Doesn't she realize I want to be there for her when things go wrong? Well, I won't push you on the matter. But I'm here for you if you decide later that you like to talk about it. It might help. I can see that the debate raging behind Emi's eyes. It seems like she wants to tell me, but she's not sure whether or not she can. Hey, forget about it for now, okay? We've got running to do. The mention of running, something that she can handle, brings Emi back to her usual self. Right. Hurry up and stretch out, Hisao. We've got to get moving. She takes off like a shot, far quicker than I'm used to. Still, I try to keep pace with her, recklessly testing my limits. It gives me a feeling of freedom, like my heart is no longer important. I found myself wanting to laugh, filled with the feeling of moving me on when I once called my boundaries. The nurse's warnings to not overdo things echo in my mind, and I disregarded them. This feeling I have, this willingness to risk a heart attack for something so trivial as a morning run, feels out of character for me. But is it? Or rather, should it be? I've got a weak heart, sure. It will never be capable of the kind of speed of endurance Emi is capable of. Though I probably wouldn't be able to get that good even if I had a healthy heart. As we round the final bend, I feel my legs screaming in protest. For the first time, I ignore them. I accelerate to finish at a sprint, nearly catching up to Emi. That was never going to happen, of course. Still, I feel surprisingly good. Oh, sure, my legs feel like they're about to catch fire, and I'm having trouble staying upright, but there's been a shift of some sort today. It's all thanks to the girl grinning at the finish line waiting for me. That felt a little faster than usual. My comment is met with a grin and a shrug. Can't have you think I was going to go soft on you, can I? But you managed to handle it just fine. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Still feeling the high from the run and moving of a surge of gratitude, I seize Emi in a hug. Thanks. Really, I'm not just saying that. I mean, you're dead. Emi seems flustered by my words, squirming uncomfortably. Don't be silly, Sal. Someone had to haul you out here, didn't they? And it's not like you're not doing anything for me, right? I needed a running partner, remember? I shake my head, still pointlessly not letting go of Emi. She stops squirming and merely looks up at me with quickly deepening blush that almost seems out of character. No, that's not true. You wanted a running partner, but you don't need one. But you didn't need one. If I didn't show up the day after the festival, you would still run, right? If I hadn't shown up. But it doesn't work the other way around. I only managed to make it out here a few times before the festival. And without you, I probably wouldn't have made it out at all after that. That was a really hard sentence for me for some reason. She smiles at me and prods my chest with one finger. You're pretty lazy, Sal. Hey, I was giving you a compliment. Well, you're welcome, I guess. I'll write you back somehow. Well, that's not necessary, you know. I mean, I kind of like you, Sal. And being able to run with you in the mornings didn't... Oh, man. No! And being able to run with you in the mornings isn't exactly a bad deal for me either, so... For someone who gets so much praise, she seems unused to gratitude. I can't think of anything else to say, so we fall silent. I became aware of Emi's breathing, of the dampness of her clothing, and of the scent of her. Coming off of anyone else, it would stink. Coming off of Emi, it fits her in a way nothing else could. Her skin is cool, slick with sweat, and a breeze causes goosebumps to rise. Almost without thinking about it, I lean down in Emi's mouth, which has already moved to me my own. Aww. Her lips are soft, and she hums happily as we kiss, sending vibrations from her mouth to mine. There's a starting rightness to everything about this moment. We fit one another perfectly. The kiss ends, and I finally let my arms drop back to my sides. Emi is smiling warmly at me and giggles again. Come on, Sal, we better go see the nurse. Then it happens. As she turns to begin walking, she gives out a tiny yelp and stumbles forward. Emi! I leap to study her and notice with some concern that she's favoring the same leg as last night. Your leg. Emi seems panicked and pushes away from me. It's fine. My expression must seem hurt, because she hastens to apologize. Sorry. Didn't mean to push you like that. She stumbles for something to say. It's nothing, really. Hey, don't worry about it. She's so flustered, I decide to shrug the whole thing off. But there's a cold feeling in the pit of my stomach now that won't go away. I try to step in and help her, as she pushes me away. Smiling, I shove these thoughts through the back of my mind and concentrate on Emi. I just don't want you getting hurt, that's all. You don't have to worry about me, honest. I'm fine. Yes, you say that, but I don't believe you. Why won't you tell me what's wrong? It's like she gets offended by me trying to help. What am I supposed to make of that? I'm still trying to sort out what happened on the track as we arrive in front of the nurse's office. Emi raises her hand to knock, hesitates, and turns to me, smiling guiltily. Hey, can you do me a favor? Of course. Can you tell the nurse that I'll see him later? I just remembered that I've got some stuff to take care of before class. So I really need to get moving. I peer at her closely as she fidgets under my stare. Yeah, she's clearly just avoiding the nurse. The leg of hers. Well, whatever. I said I'd help, and so I will. But I'll make damn sure she sees the nurse before the day's out. Yeah, okay, I'll let him know. Emi looks like I've just given her a pony for Christmas. Thank you so much. Oh, come on. I'm trying to plug my laptop up. And got it. You're the best, Hisao. I'm rewarded for my complicity in her lie by a kiss that makes it all worth it. Or so I tell myself. As Emi heads out of the building, trying hard not to let her limp show, I knock on the door of the office. Ah, Hisao, come on in. I don't see Emi with you. She's not sick again, is she? From the tone of his voice, I don't think the nurse is expecting me to say, yes, she's ill. Or she said that she'd forgotten to do something, and so she had to skip out. But she'll see you later today. The nurse heaves an unexasperated sigh. Honestly, that girl. She's been avoiding me. Yesterday she was in and out of here without even taking off her prosthetics, and now this? Well, at least it's not just me Emi doesn't want worrying. That's a comfort, I guess. Still, I feel like I should say something about her leg. I said I'd lie for her, but she really needs to see him. Now that you mention it, she was limping pretty badly today, and last night as well. The nurse's eyes narrow on the words, last night. Why did you say the last night part? And what exactly were you two doing last night? Ouch. We were on a date. The nurse raises his eyebrows as if surprised. Really? Interesting. Huh? Oh, nothing. His gaze turns thoughtful and then he grins at me. You don't think you could use some of that boyfriend charm to get her to come see me today, could you? Of course. I was planning on doing that anyway. I think she's really hurt and just pretending she isn't. Yes, she does that. Afraid I'll make her stop running. Will you? I don't like to, but if it's bad enough that she's been limping, well, I guess I'll have to see what's wrong with for myself before I make that call. I see. Emi, not allowed to run? Shut up, Brett. Emi, not allowed to run? Perish the thought. I don't know if she'd be able to function without running. No wonder she's reluctant to admit something's wrong. Well, I'll make sure she sees you. Good. Oh, and before I forget, he grins at me again, in what feels a vaguely threatening manner. Don't forget that I know what medications you're on. You be careful around Emi, got it? Wow, he looks serious too. Got it. Don't hurt Emi. Don't hurt Emi. Wouldn't dream of it. Good. Oh no, that's a grant. I hate for you to be late. Huh? Late, as in late, Hisao and Emi. Oh. He frowns briefly, dissatisfied. Sounded better in my head. Well, at any rate, get out of here before you miss your first class. You got things to do, I'm sure. Shoot. As I leave, I notice the nurse pulling out his phone and dialing a number. Mako, your daughter's being a pain in the ass again. I'd better head back to my room, so I really will be late. Hey, wasn't he supposed to check my heart rate? And he forgets. The lunch bell sounds, and I bring myself out of the stupor I slipped into during the morning's classes. My lack of sleep last night, coupled with the increasing pace of this morning's run, has left me a little exhausted. Despite that, I found myself skipping stairs up to the roof. There's a thrill of excitement now, in addition to the pleasure one gets from eating lunch with one's friends. True, both Emi and Rin are still my friends, but Emi has become more than that now. Rin is back to her usual spot on the roof, almost as if she'd never been absent. Feeling better, I take it? A raised eyebrow is my reward for speaking. Better than what? Or better than you felt yesterday? Rin gives my question some serious thought. I'm not sure. I think I might have felt rather good for some of yesterday, but it's all fuzzy. Too much cold yet? Medicine? Well, I was asleep, and that usually is pretty good. But I can't remember what it feels like to be asleep, because I'm not conscious for it. It's a real problem. Then again, if I knew how good it felt, I might not sleep anymore. This way I keep trying, so that's how I can keep from being overtired. An internal mystery to keep you sleeping at night? Maybe mystery is the wrong word. Instability might be the proper way to describe it. I see. No, I don't see it all. I have no idea what she's talking about, but that's okay, since I really do. Do you remember what sleeping feels like? Like yesterday, do you remember what you felt like sleeping yesterday? Well, I actually didn't get a lot of sleep yesterday. Maybe that's because you remember subconsciously. Actually, I think I was worrying about Emi. Doesn't Emi worry enough about herself? I hadn't considered that, but it gives me a pause. True. But would she ask for help if she needed it? Ren frowns and I raise an eyebrow. Will I get a proper answer? Probably not. Is there something else she should be asking for help with? Her leg, for starters. This seems to catch Ren's interest. Leg? It's her, but she won't see the nurse about it. Ren shakes her head in disapproval. You have to make her. Like she makes me go to the class, for her own good. Otherwise she could lose her legs again, and that's just too weird. Losing things twice. Especially if you don't have them again to begin with. Unless prosthetics are the same as fighting something. But that's a different kind of lost, isn't it? I think so. I wonder. Wonder what? Emi! Emi seems to have snuck up to Ren and me, though Ren doesn't seem especially surprised, which is itself unsurprising, I suppose. Ren manages to set herself upright quite expertly, throwing her upper body forward and using her momentum to right herself. Your leg, how's it feel? That earns me a frown and a bit of a glare. It's okay, I think. Not worth worrying about. Tell that to the nurse. He's quite insistent that you visit him, you know. Amy pouts like I just told her she's been grounded. He worries too much. It's not a big deal, just a little soreness. I try to resist rolling my eyes in exasperation. If it's nothing, then you should have no problem seeing him, right? Amy narrows her eyes suspiciously. Did he put you up to this? Well, maybe. A little. But that's not the point. I would have reminded you to see him anyway. It'd be terrible to see you really hurt and not doing anything about it. That would make it worse, and I don't really want to see you hurt, you know? Call me crazy, but I kind of would prefer to see you happy and healthy. With each statement, Emmy's frown fades a little more, until eventually she's gritting. Albeit a little shyly. Oh. Well, if you're gonna put it that way, then I guess I'll have to see him. Otherwise, you'll keep worrying, and then I'll never hear the end of it, right? That's right. I'll keep bugging you about it, and that might put a damper on our dates. How's the food, Hisao? How's the food, Hisao? Talk to the nurse in me. I can see it. I can see it. Just be in town eating like, I don't know, be like some fancy dinner. Be like, hey Hisao, how's that lobster tasting? Is it good? Go to the nurse. Go to the nurse. How's your day, Hisao? Talk to the nurse, Emi. Hisao, I think I'm ready to go all the way. Talk to the nurse, Emi. Hisao, no. Oh, that's horrible. See, it doesn't work that well. She giggles at my high-pitched shit! Emi giggles at my high-pitched rendition, I have no idea, of her own voice and gives me an affectionate shove. My voice isn't that high, jerk. I thought it was pretty accurate. Oh my god, nice going, Ren. Like, I like Emi's eyes right now. I can't stop. Like, I like the look Emi has in her eyes. It's crazy. Emi and I stare at Ren for a while before I burst into laughter. Emi crosses her arms and huffs, mock offended. You're both jerks. Such vile calumnies. Shit! No, from you, young woman. I'm stunned that you would call me, of all people, a jerk. Honestly, I don't know what to think. Emi sticks her tongue out at me. You ass. So Ren, how's the art club these days? Ren, seemingly as surprised as this sudden change of topic as I am, takes a minute to think about before answering. I believe it is okay. Although, Nomiai keeps telling me to work harder, but I don't think he understands my methods. He always struck me as slightly creepy. Ren ponders the statement for a while. I've never really noticed. But I don't pay much attention to him most days, so maybe that's why. How often do you meet? Thinking of joining, Hisao? What? Nah, I've already decided to join a club. Really? Which one? Well, it's not really much of a club, to be honest. Oh, you're joining the tea club? No, I joined the science club, I think. Emi looks highly confused. We have a science club? Not really, it's just me. Hisao, that's not a club. That's sitting in your room reading books. No, I mean, it's just me and Mattel. You know, I would really love to, like, give Emi a voice, but I can't because I'm sick and it sucks. I'm just the only student so far. Mattel? Really? A thought strikes her. Oh, is that what you were talking about yesterday? Your meeting with Mattel? Yeah, that was our first meeting, I guess. Emi giggles. Nerd. Hey, I can't help being clever. You know, I could have used your help years ago. You should have had your heart attack earlier in life, Hisao. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Emi, you're something else. I laugh and then realize that this is probably one of the very rare times I've laughed about my heart attack. Hindsight. Yeah. The ringing of the bell ends our conversation. Guess we better go. Yeah, I guess so. Come on, Ren, you too. Ren has apparently begun to doze off, so Emi gives her a sharp bump. I almost had it. Sorry, but you need to go to class. I disagree, but maybe if I nap in class, I'll get it this time. Changing location is sometimes helpful for that kind of thing. Neither Emi or I bother asking what it is. Yeah. As we arrive at my classroom, Emi gives me a quick kiss and heads down the hallway, Ren in tow. Oh! I turn into the classroom to be met by the duo of Shizune and Misha. Misha seems to be fighting a losing battle to keep from breaking into a fit of giggles while she translates Shizune's latest rant. While we are thrilled to see how well you've managed to make new friends and forge relationships, and with such a cutie, Hichan. I think the last part was probably Misha. We nevertheless feel compelled to politely remind you that public displays of affection are strictly forbidden. Really? That's disappointing, Hichan. By Section 8 of the Code of Conduct laid out in the student handbook. In this case, however, ignorance of the law may be your excuse, as we are feeling lenient. And the paperwork required to punish the both of you would only add to the already mountainous volume of work which confronts us, the sole members of the student council. And besides, you two are adorable together. Therefore, consider this a formal warning, and please refrain from such displays in the future, at least when Shizune can see Hichan. The whole smile is so partially ridiculous that I can't help but reply on the same hopeless answer. Well, I for one feel enlightened. I apologize for my rash actions, and will strive to contain my baser impulses which, I fear, impel me towards such inappropriate displays of public affection. It is hardly my wish to burden an already overworked student council with such petty matters, and will do my best to make your lives easier in this matter in the future, at least when Shizune is watching. The last line was delivered with a wink to Misha, who finally loses control of her laughter. Wahahaha. Well said, Hichan. Chuckling a little myself, we enter the classroom. Class is uneventful, and after the final bell rings, I found myself alone with Mattel again. So, it looks like we've all assembled for the second meeting of the Science Club. Or is it the first? What do you think? Should we count yesterday as a meeting? Well, we did form the club yesterday, didn't we? This seems like club business, so we can safely call yesterday a meeting. Mattel smiles in his usual stilted and awkward way. I wonder if the muscles in his face are just not shaped correctly to let him smile naturally. You really do have a knack for this, I think. Logical thought process. And that is. I guess so. A scientist speaks with authority, Estelle. The answer here is, yes, I do. When the world wants to know how it works, we tell it, even if we've got is a decent hypothesis. But we must sound certain anyway, because we're the authorities of the subject, right? He chuckles, to go along with the awkward smile at his awkward joke. I'm doing my best not to grimace, but I don't think I'm being too successful. That's entirely false, of course. We know a lot, sure, but nobody is an expert on how the world works. If only because nobody can be sure. With no certainty, there are no experiments. But we like to pretend sometimes. There's some things we can be certain of, right? Yes, but no. We know gravity's there, for example. To illustrate, Mattel picks up a pencil and drops it. See? Still there. But it's good to check every once in a while. That's why you'll still see researchers mucking about with gravity. We're pretty sure we know how it works, but there's always a chance that something isn't how we think it is. So you check and check and check. There's science in a that's science in a nutshell, Hisao. The whole time I've listened feeling rather spellbound, Mattel seems to really be passionate about this stuff. I think. It's hard to tell sometimes how the world works, how humans work, how the universe works. All these questions to be answered, and depending on what I go into, maybe I could even figure out a way to fix my heart. That said, I don't think that's a real priority for me. Besides, as we start discussing the book he gave me yesterday, I found myself more and more interested in that than my heart condition. That's awesome. Before we could even realize it, an hour's gone by. Well, let's call this meeting over for now, okay? We'll have another meeting tomorrow or the day after. He considers this for a moment. Call it the day after. I've got a lot of grading to do. Okay, see you then. As we exit the classroom, I realize that I don't really have anything to do tonight. Emi and I didn't make plans, so I guess I'll go to the library. It beats doing homework in my room anyway. The library always seems cooler than the rest of the building. Probably to keep the books from getting damaged by excessive heat and humidity. Books are sturdy objects, but if you want to keep them in good condition, it takes a little effort. I've got several books that are so well worn the pages are barely cleaving to the spine. It seems impossible for me to still be It seems impossible for them to still be usable, but if you can handle them with care. I'll make my way to the main desk, where I spot Yuko burying herself into something or another. Okay guys, that's all I can take at the moment. My voice and whatnot, drainage, allergies, everything, just, yeah. So, I'm gonna end the episode here. I thought it was a pretty awesome episode, you know, we went on a date with Emi, kissed her, the whole leg thing, I'm interested in seeing what's going on there. And yeah, I'm looking forward to all this. So, anyway, I end the episode here. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my video, it helps me out as a small YouTuber, and I will catch you later. Peace.